the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, it's the Premier League prediction show live. There's still one match is to be played tonight and tomorrow, and then it's match week 38 at the weekend on Sunday. I am joined by Pete and Roly. How are you two guys? Are you feeling Champions League still?
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely, man.
Champions League.
Yeah, definitely. Won't get sick of seeing that. And I tell you what, the tune's been well played on my show, Pete. I played it 3 times, I think, last night.
I played it twice on my as well.
Well, why not?
And I put a short out the other night, and I played it on that. So yeah, absolutely.
It's just, it's still hard to believe.
Yeah,
that we've actually done it. And the impressive thing is that our first attempt to get in, we got in. We weren't expecting to actually have an attempt. And it shows that guys don't bottle when the chips are down. When they've got to get the wins in the league, they'll get them. And it took
City a team from North London.
Yeah, it took City a few attempts to make the Champions League after they were bought over. It's taken us one season.
Exactly. So, guys, if you do like what you see, and girls, please smash the like. It does help the channel with search results, so make sure you smash those likes. That'll be absolutely fantastic. Let's see if we can break the likes record tonight. Also, if you are brand new to the channel, then smash the subscribe. Come and join this amazing community. And that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. So, yes, I'm on 585 subscribers, so I'm 15 away now from hitting 600. Can I hit that 600 before Sunday? That would be absolutely fantastic if that happens. You know, do tell your friends and, you know, family to get on here and subscribe.
Share it on your socials.
Yeah. Also, if you do want to make a donation to the channel, there is a link in the chat. So click on the link and follow the instructions. Okay. BS says, evening, Tony Roly and Police Detective Proudlock and Chatters. Good evening to you, Bia.
How you doing, Bia?
Andrew says, yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely fine. Andrew's got his new profile picture on. He changed it last night during the show. Lee says, evening, Tony, Pete and Rolly. Happy days are here again. Champions League, here we go. The mighty Toon Army.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly. Right. So we're going to get straight into it. Oh, hang on. Ian Fleming's just starting to chat. Evening, Tony, Pete and Rolly. What a time to be a Toon fan. Evening, Ian. Yes. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And yeah. Right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Oh, hang in with my normies. Big up, lads. Champions League. Here we go. I'm buzzing. Yeah, absolutely. I'm buzzing as well, mate. Right. Before I actually get to the first game, I'm going to come to you, Pete, because I haven't had a chance to speak to you about it. And I saw your video after the match. And, you know, I was expecting you to break into song, but you disappointed me, Pete. You didn't. I was hoping you were going to sing the Champions League theme, but you didn't.
I can't sing that well, Tony.
But hey, doesn't matter. I can't sing, Pete, but I still give it a sing, you know.
Okay.
But Pete, I mean, right, you were at the match. You were inside that St James's Park with 52,000 fans. The Leicester game was a training ground exercise.
Yeah.
Because they just did not play at all. They were very poor. it's a typical Dean Smith setup, typical of Dean Smith. A cabbage heat the second. He's Steve Bruce the second all over. He really is. I mean, they had one shot, all game. But the atmosphere, though, Pete, I mean, at full time in that stadium, when that final whistle went, how did you feel?
It was just absolutely mind-blowing to see the celebrations go around after getting that Champions League secured. It was just amazing. It really, really was. To be here now, after not being in there in the Champions League for 20 years now, what a day to be a Toon fan it was on that night. So special. And we're back. We're back there now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if anybody hasn't done it, get yourselves on the BBC website or app if you've got the BBC app, and there's a special quiz there. Just test yourself. I got all 13 right, and it's from the last Champions League squad. Can you guess the 13 players that they have on their screen? And you've got to type their answer in, but you've only got time to do it. You've only got 2 minutes to do it, and I had about 50 seconds remaining, so I've done it in about 1 minute 10. So check the BBC out and BBC Football and see. Hopefully the quiz is still there, it should be, and then test yourselves. If you do feel it, you can always try again, I suppose. But yeah, right. So Pete had a great time on Monday night. Lucky man, lucky man. Julie's in the chat. She says, "Good evening, everyone. Evening, Pete, Roly, and Tony. Good evening to you,
Julie."
Hanging with my Nomi says, I said it was going to be 0-0, Tony, remember? I do remember, yes, very well, mate, and you were spot on. I hope you put a bet on that, did you? Coffee says, hi, Tony, PD, Roly and all. To you, Coffee. Hope you're well. Ian says, have you heard the latest from Liverpool?
No, but what have they been saying?
What they said now, Pete?
They want to try and go to governing bodies because they're complaining they're not where they are in the league table.
Oh, for God's sake.
They want to go to what?
Governing bodies, apparently.
So they want to complain to the governing bodies that they didn't make the Champions League?
Well, if they don't make it, yeah, apparently so.
Well, and they should go to bloody Mr. Ed. It's his fault. He picks the team.
Mm-hmm.
As I said to my other half, we gave them 6 points and they still couldn't catch us.
Yeah, exactly.
Coffee says Stoney's still at St James's Park. Yeah, Yasser Ryan says I can stay in St James's Park for as long as I want to, so that was very nice of him. Yeah, no harm at home, really. Hanging around, no, I was 5 when we were last in the Champions League. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I was 31 20 years ago.
36.
Coffee says a lot of fans need their nappies changed. A lot of Liverpool fans, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hanging around, no, he's turkey teeth crying again. I'm not surprised. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to go to the first game tonight, which is obviously just quickly. Ian says the estate decisions are not going for them. Refs costing them. What a load of
how to
trash.
win and
hang on, against us in August, we're clearly denied a second goal because I couldn't tell whose the shadows was, and then Mariner adds a minute and a half on. Where he got that from, we do not know still, and they scored the winner. So Liverpool fans,
well, it's not just
Klopp, shut the hell up.
It's not just that. The game against Fulham a couple of weeks back, they get a penalty. They get a penalty when I can understand the ref giving it, because if he's behind the play, it looks like he was wiped out. You see it from the other side. The defender didn't even touch Nunes. And the only reason he makes contact is because Nunes stuck his leg out.
About the decisions that they've gone for them when they shouldn't have as well.
Yeah, I mean, they just can't take it that we're Champions League and they're probably not going to be.
God, it's now hard. You don't want to make that Champions League now, either Man United or Liverpool.
Yeah.
Man United because we don't like them, but Liverpool now are just really complaining.
Yeah, because they're not getting it their way. I mean,
No, sorry.
they're getting the VAR decisions, but we're so good it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. Coffee
That
says
sounds
he
good,
echoes. He echoes you, Roly. We gave Liverpool 6 points. They should not complain about other teams, not us. Exactly. And Hanging with My Nomi says Klopp runs at refs like he's the Cray twins. No wonder refs hate him.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get the first game, and there's a game tonight, and this is the game tonight. It's at the Amex Stadium, and it's Brighton versus Manchester City. I'm going to start with you, Pete. You want to kick this one off? I mean, I think, in all honesty, I don't think Man City will be playing a full-strength team. Well, I say a full-strength team. What is their full-strength team? But I still think the likes of Haaland and all that will be on the bench, because I think he'll keep them now for the cup finals, because
they're not
he hasn't
on the
got to
bench.
worry about the title.
Well,
So Haaland, De Bruyne is starting.
Are they? Oh, okay then.
It's basically most of the people that are on the bench at the weekend are starting. So
so
pretty close to the strongest team.
Yeah, the only one that's not there that looks like he's been rested is Grealish.
Yeah.
But they're still going
what's your thoughts on this match then, Pete? How would you say going? Brighton need a point for European qualification.
It's going to be a very interesting game, actually. I think, well, Brighton have already got Europe guaranteed, which is great. But this will be a very interesting game because Brighton have been so good this season. They've been really, really good this season, Brighton. They're where they are for a reason. They've played some really, really nice stuff, I must say. Do you know what? I don't think they're going to make it easy for Man City a lot of the game. But Man City, because it is hard for anyone to catch them now and to really to come up against them. I think Man City will just win this one as well. But I think Brighton will give them a game tonight. I really believe they'll give them a game tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 2-1 to City.
2-1 City. Yeah. That's interesting, Pete. I mean, Brighton only need a point to qualify for Europa League, you see. That's why they need that point tonight, because then Villa can't catch them. But
I thought they would be qualified with the goal difference.
Not for the Conference League, but not Europa League. So they've got to take a point for that. De Zerbi wants to get 3 points tonight, he's already said. So yeah, that's kind of a good one. I'll just, before I go to Roly for his thoughts, I'll just nip into the comments. Right, let's see. Julie says Klopp's just been entitled. Yeah. Jake says 1-0 City. Hanging My Nomi says 2-1 Brighton. Ian says, don't forget Celtic play tonight as well, Tony.
Oh.
Yeah, but what about this Premier League, mate? But who they got tonight, Ian? I don't know. Coffee says City 3-0. Ian says 2-0 City. BS says, I thought I was watching Scottish football once, turned out it was the Coopers Hill Cheese Rolling Festival. And Lee's going for it as well, a 2-1 Man City win. Okay, Rolly, thoughts on this game tonight, Brighton versus Manchester City?
I just had a quick look at the table, and Brighton do need 1 point to be mathematically certain, but Villa would have to make up 16 goals in one game to overtake Brighton, so they're effectively sixth. It's the lowest that they can. It's the lowest that they can get, so that they have qualified for the Europa. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it might be a bit like the game against us, where they'll have a lot of possession. They'll make a few chances, but I think City will be too good for them. I think the game will be closer than the scoreline, if you know what I mean. It'll be a close game, but I think City will win 3-1. but it'd be a tough 3-1 win. I think this is the worst time to play City because they're in the groove. They're cooking on gas. They're really at peak performance, and that's the thing about championship sides. Is that it doesn't matter how you do in the first half of the season; it's the second half that really counts. As long as you're not too far behind, you hit that form where you just win game after game after game after game. That's why I think City will win this because they're let's just say losing a habit, so is winning. City in that winning habit, I think they'll win 3-1.
3-1. Well, the Brighton team is stealing goal, Casido right back again, Van Hecker, Levi Colville, and midfield House and Billy Gilmore. Then you've got Buonanotte, Julian Ciso, Matoma, and Welbeck up front. On the bench, they have left Lewis Dunk on the bench. They've got McAllister on the bench. They've got Evan Ferguson on the bench. Webster on the bench. Undav on the bench. So, yeah, he's rotating. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. But Casido right back. Even Ian says hips, Celtic are playing. Coffee's even laughing. Yeah, exactly. He was poor the last time when he played against us. So you're going 3-1, Roly. Do you know what it is? This is going to be a tricky game. It all depends. It all depends what Man City turn up as well. I mean, you look at their lineup in goal. It's Stefan Ortega in goal, Kel Walker, John Stones, Rodri, and Rico Lewis, who I think is a terrific young left back.
Yeah.
Ilkay Gundogan, the captain. Then you got Mahrez, Silva, De Bruyne, Foden, and Haaland up front. So yeah, I think this will be a tough game for both sides. It all depends how much City want to win the game, because remember, a lot of their players know that they've got a Champions League final and an FA Cup final to come up, and do they want to risk getting an injury before then? Because that would be absolutely travesty if they got an injury now, so close to finals. I think this is going to end a draw, and I'm going to go 1-1. Now, remember last week, I mean, I know Pete wasn't on because he was in Manchester at the time, but last week, and I've got to speak to Kyle as well about it, but last week, I predicted Forest to win, and I know I said 3-2. And even Kyle looked at me and said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "I can see Forest beating Arsenal." And who was right? Me, because I did say Arsenal would get beat at Forest. And Kyle did say the next time he comes on, he'll wear a dress. But I don't know if he meant that for the scoreline.
I think he said the scoreline. He did say.
All for Forest beating at Arsenal. And because I've had a few people in the chat recently asking on Monday when Kyle was on, where's your dress? He hasn't got his dress on. So I've got to speak to him about this. But that's what he said. He's going to wear a dress.
He did say the correct score. It had to be 3-2. But, I mean, the difference is that Arsenal had already lost. They knew they'd lost the league. And they just weren't at it. Man City are going to be in a different place. They're going to want to keep winning. Because, I mean, you don't want to start losing just before you go to the cup final. I mean, not your confidence a bit. I mean, that's what cost us the Carabao Cup, was we lost a couple of games before.
Yeah.
Though we played well, you get out of that winning habit. So they're going to want to try and keep winning.
Yeah. Lee says no Sky Sports can call us part of the Big Six. Well, they won't, or will they?
No.
Miggy knocked 20 million off Casido's price taxes. Yeah. But he gave Best Opinion a hard time, didn't he? Coffee says, will Brighton park the bus again? I don't think parking the bus works against City. It's exactly what they want, absolutely. Paul says City beat Brighton.
Brighton don't really park the bus.
No.
They like to invite the press to play through it. But when we played them, we did press, but we didn't press as aggressively as we normally do because we know they can play through. So the press was there, but it was a very disciplined press. So that it just forced them to go long, which is what they don't want to do.
Yeah, absolutely, Roly. Okay. I hear we're still interested in Kim Min Jae. I know we might not get him, but a man can dream. Yeah, he's.
I don't know an awful lot about him, to be honest.
You don't know a lot about. He's a centre half. He's a right-footed centre half. It's Kim Min Jae. I'll pull up his stats quickly. There we are. Plays for Napoli. He's highly thought of at Napoli as well. So I'm just when they come up with stats. He is 26 years of age, South Korean, right-footed centre-back. His value is 52 million euros. His aerial duels, positioning and ground duels are his strengths, no outstanding weaknesses. He started 34 out of 34 games, being team of the week 4 times in Italy. 2 goals he's got, 2 assists for a centre-half. His accurate crossing's 33% for a centre-half.
It's not bad.
And he's had 4 yellow cards all season. But again, he's under contract till 2025. So again, yeah, he's a terrific centre half. And
How old is he again?
26.
Just reaching his peak.
Lee says, Pete, did you have a drink in the Sinclair's pub?
Yeah, I did actually.
You did. You didn't see John, no?
No, I didn't see John.
Hanging my normies. If anyone signs Matoma, they'll have to pay Trippier a compensation fee for pocketing him. Yeah. Ian says, see, we have been linked to Lucas Moura. Oh,
Not for me.
No.
Of course,
Lucas Moura.
Of course we've been
No,
linked.
thank you.
We're going to be linked to everybody in the source. I mean, if I
Someone-
pair of books, I'll be linked to us.
Yeah. Paul says someone's grandkid I know signed for the academy last week. He was on the pitch at half time on Monday. Nice one, mate. Well set, well done. And a bright future ahead for that young man, then. Okay, right. So the next game, and I'm going to start this one with Roly. And it's tomorrow night's game. It's a big game. Manchester United versus Chelsea. If Man United lose that game tomorrow, I think, in all honesty, they will be on Sky on Sunday, because that will be seen as a game that if they lose tomorrow on Sunday, Liverpool could take 4th place. So, Roly, what's your thoughts tomorrow night's game?
I can't see any way that Manchester United don't get at least a point in this game. They're at home. Chelsea have been abysmal this season, particularly away from home. There's been no signs that that's going to change. I can't see. I think Manchester United win it, to be honest. Comfortable 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah, Chelsea have just been awful, and they're all over the place.
Yeah.
They got a win the other day, but at Bournemouth, but they should have lost that one.
Yeah.
They're fortunate that they won. But I mean, Chelsea are a team of individuals. They're not a team. They've got some very good players, but they're not a team. It's almost like you've got 11 strangers on the pitch.
So you're going 2-0 to Man U.
Yeah.
Julie says we're being linked to everyone now. We're even linked to Vinny Jr. Do you know what? I would take Vinny Jr. with a drop of a hat, no problem whatsoever. I think that the racial abuse he received was absolutely disgusting. Villarreal or Valencia, whoever it is, are taking them to court now because they're not happy with the partial stadium ban and all this. They've got to get to grips with this. I'm sorry. Coffee says, I've been seeing media reports saying fans are urging Newcastle to sign Ronaldo, but most of these are fans from Man U and Madrid. No, thank you. I don't want Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Coffee says 0-0. I think Man U won, Chelsea 0, but want Chelsea to win, says Julie J. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Julie. Bowfest says Coffee. Paul says, no real Newcastle fan wants to sign Ronaldo. Absolutely not.
Yes.
No to Ronaldo, says Julie. Even Prima Donna. Pound Hag could not even get to get rid of him. Absolutely.
Bang, tag,
2-0 Consey, Man U losing, says Ian.
Yeah.
Wayne says, hello, Tony, Roly, PD. Chat hi to you, Wayne.
Well, Wayne.
You've just come in, Wayne, we've started previewing 2 games. So if you want to get your predictions in, Wayne, the first one is tonight's game, Brighton versus City. And tomorrow is Man United versus Chelsea. If you want to put your predictions in the chat, mate, you're welcome more than do so. Hanging with my nummies, I'll say Kudus all day. Absolutely hell of a player. 22 as well. Michael Parsons, man being linked to Vinny Jr. is brilliant. Vinicius would be a god at the tune, wouldn't he just, mate? Wouldn't he just, Michael? Absolutely. And
He's not going
he
to
hell of a player.
leave Real Madrid.
It's going to be a lot of money to price him away.
He's not going to leave Real Madrid.
No. Tanji says, hi, Tony and everyone. I sent you a video on the Szoboszlai guy from Leipzig. He could be our Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Tanji, I'll have a check of that, mate. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I like Dominic Szoboszlai. And he didn't, he was asked about Sky, he was asked on the cameras, do you still think you'll be here next year? And he said, next question. So he just quickly brushed it off. But he liked Newcastle United's Instagram post when we beat Brighton 4-1. And he liked that. So, Sven Botman done the same. So who knows? Coffee says, John was certain we're not signing Vinny Jr. Well,
it's definitely going to sign that. If John says we're not going to sign him, his predictions haven't been exactly great. He said that we wouldn't sign Botman. He said that we couldn't make Champions League with Murphy and Longstaff in the side.
Man U Chelsea a draw, says Lee. Right, Pete, your prediction for the game tomorrow between Man United and Chelsea at Old Trafford?
I think this is going to be a 1 winner as well. And yeah, I think it's going to be Man United. Chelsea, so dire this season. I mean, they couldn't even beat a Man City B team last week as well. They've had a really poor season, Chelsea. They're absolutely shocking at the moment. And Roly's right, they're a team of individuals as well. Poch's got a big job for next season. He really, really has. The manager, Lampard, he's clueless. He's absolutely clueless. He doesn't know what he's doing at all. I don't know why Chelsea went and got him back. And I can only see Man United winning this game tomorrow as well. And I think it'll also be a 2-0 win to Man United as well.
And the only reason they got Lampard back is because he's a legend at Chelsea. That guy should never get another Premier League management job again.
No.
And I'm not even sure that he's good enough for the Championship.
Yeah. Okay, so my prediction for this game is I think it's going to be a funny game. And I've got a feeling this will end in a draw. I really do. And I want it to end in a draw for simple reason is because it means if it ends in a draw, it doesn't matter what Man United do on Sunday, as long as we beat Chelsea, we finish third. So I want this to be a draw tomorrow. And I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I can see that happening. I can see Chelsea taking the lead and I can see Man United pulling it back. So yeah, I'm going to say 1-1. I'm just going to jump into some comments here because the comments are flying in. Right, let's see where we were. There we are. Hanging My Nomi says, Dominic Szoboszlai, that man is a machine. Can you imagine him and Bruno linking up midfield? It'd be a dream, wouldn't it? Julie says, Vinny would be awesome, wouldn't he? Vinny Jr. would, yeah. Paul says, I still think Chelsea still be poor next season. I think it's going to take a long time because them players are just not gelling. Tanji says, Szoboszlai is 10 times better than Madison. We should pay the extra for him. Enriched in quality. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Get both. Szoboszlai is a player we are looking at, says Julie. Yeah, absolutely. Wayne says, well, Tony, I have a bet on Brighton to win 2-1 and put a pund on it to get 25-1. So got the feeling Pep might just feel the weak side. Pep over. Yeah, well, yeah. He's got Haaland playing in De Bruyne, so in Foden. So he ain't a weak side as such, but yeah, he hasn't got Edison playing in goal. Madison has injuries too, says Coffee. Julie says Chelsea will improve next season and so will Liverpool. I think Man U will fade away unless they get the takeover. Yeah, you're spot on there, Julie. Lee says, I can see Chelsea players leaving. Some of the players want Champions League games. Well, that's it. I said this a while back. I said, if Chelsea don't make Europe this season, they're going to have a lot of unhappy players on that side, and I think there will be come the summer. Your Mudrik's not worth £100 million. I'm sorry, he's not a £100 million player. He's woeful. He just runs around like a headless chicken. I watched him against England for Ukraine. He didn't even look half the player he's supposed to be that he was at Shakhtar Donetsk. Playing for Shakhtar Donetsk, it's a different league, the Ukrainian league. I'm sorry, it is. You know, it's not Premier League, and he hasn't really cut it in the Premier League, and that's why Arsenal pulled out, because there's no way Arsenal were paying £100 million either for him, and neither will we. Paul says Maddison doesn't get injured that much, to be fair, but if you look at his stats over the last few seasons, he's always played more than 30 games. Yeah, he has absolutely a spot on there, Paul, my friend. Michael says, I predict 1-1 Man U Chelsea, which would be great for us. Yeah, Wayne says Chelsea 2-1, and that's just because I hate Man United. Yeah, absolutely, like we all. Jake says 4-0 to Man U. Oh, gosh. They might have a nosebleed scoring that many. Coffee says, I changed my prediction to 1-0. Own goal from Cooler Bramble and Maguire. Yeah. Vinny Jr. has €1 billion release clause. Never going to happen, says Beer. Yeah, I suppose he has got something like that. Yeah. Hang in mind, he's disgraceful. Mudrick making fun of the old man at the gym by secretly filming him and making fun of him. Mudrick is a scumbag. Oh, I didn't know about that one. That's not great.
I've not heard about that as well.
Niall says, big up, lads. Big up to you, Niall. Says, do you think there's a chance we might bid for Atsu Fati? I've seen he's been linked to Wolves in a swap deal. I don't know. It depends. We don't know what the club's got on their radar. And Tony was meant to say Klopp at the end of that sentence, says Wayne. Yeah, absolutely, Wayne. Right, so we're going to go to the next game. And so I've changed I've changed it around. We're not going alphabetical order because I'm going a different way for the weekend. So we'll come back to you, Pete. So this is your game. You have got Leicester City versus West Ham United at the King Power Stadium, 4:30 kickoff. This is bound to be a Sky game, or even a BT Sport game, because it'll be on one of them. What is your prediction of this game?
Oh, this will be an interesting one. Leicester fighting to stay in the Premier League. West Ham want to build to make sure they're well up for it for the Europa Conference final as well. So, both teams I think are going to be at it. Are going to be in this game. Leicester will want to be, so they can try and get that win on the final game of the season. But again, West Ham, as I mentioned, will be up for it to make sure they're fully up for it for the final. I'm thinking this is going to end a draw, which means Leicester will be relegated. And I'm going to say it's 1-1.
Oh, you're going 1-1, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
Right, before I get Roly's thoughts on this, let's see what the people in the comment have to say about it. Coffee says, yeah, Mudrick was apparently making fun of the elderly man at the gym, but can't confirm. Lee says, West Ham win. Yeah. Leicester 2-0, says Coffee. Julie says, that's terrible. Let Mudrick come face to face with Joe Linton. Absolutely. Hanging My Nomi says, Leicester 2-0. I think West Ham will be on the beach. Well, no, they've got a cup final, haven't they? European Cup final. So, yeah. They might not want to challenge as much because of, I mean, I could see him rotate the squad, David Moyes, to be honest with you, because they're safe now, and he might rest the likes of Declan Rice, who knows. Leicester will part the bus again, Drew, I reckon, says Julie. Paul says, I would love Leicester to win and Bournemouth to beat Everton, lol. West Ham will be blowing bubbles, says Coffee. Hanging my Nomi saying that Julie Joe Linton would open up Mudrick like a tin of Heinz beans. Ian says 2-2. Oh, that's interesting. A high score and draw for Ian. Wayne's going for a 2-1 Leicester win. Julie agrees with Hanging My Normies. 2-2 says Jake as well. Right, Roly, okay. Leicester City versus West Ham United.
Well, they're going to play a totally different game to the one that they played against us. I think they came for a draw and got it because I think they thought that if they come at us, they'll get absolutely pummeled. And they had no chance. They needed to get something out of this game to give themselves a fighting chance for Saturday.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think it's going to be a very similar game to the Leeds West Ham game last weekend. They'll start brightly, they'll get a lead, and they won't be able to hold on to it. I think they'll lose 3-1.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You think Leicester will lose 3-1?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think Leicester are too good, and they won't. They're not on the beach because they still need that form to go into the Europa Conference final, and they'll want to win before they go to that game. Leicester, they can't defend like they did against us because they have to win the game. They'll come out attacking. They'll say they get the lead, then they won't be able to transition to sit back, and West Ham will rip them apart like they did to Leeds. Unfortunately.
Okay, guys, just before we go on, it's not football related. This is some breaking news just come out breaking on Sky News, and it's some sad news to report. The singer Tina Turner has sadly died at the age of 83. I'm a big Tina Turner fan. I've been to see her at Gateshead Stadium. I remember throwing flowers on the stage for her, a bunch of roses. You know, I remember getting a ticket for that gig. It was one of the hottest tickets in town when she came to the National Stadium. What a brilliant singer she absolutely was. You know, fantastic array of songs. You know, and yeah, she dies after a long illness, and yeah, 83. So sad to hear, but yeah, she was a real idol of mine. I like Tina Turner a lot. Yeah, so and we had enough. I went to a concert just back in it was February last year at Peterborough Theatre. And it was a tribute of Tina Turner, a tribute act, and she was from the West End. She was absolutely fantastic who did Tina Turner. But yeah, so sadly, Tina Turner has died at the age of 83. Sorry, that I know that's not football related, but I just thought I'd announce that.
An excellent singer.
Yes, she was.
Really, really big hits from. You see, from the 60s onwards, she was one of these singers that transcended the decades.
Yeah. I mean, did you like Tina Turner, Peter? She sang some good songs.
She was a great singer, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Really, really great singer she was.
Yeah, so Leicester City, West Ham. My thoughts on this game is, do you know what it is? I think they're going to have I think the atmosphere might change at the King Power. I really think the fans might be getting behind them with them annoying bloody clappers going all the time. Got the hand out at the stadium. Do you know what it is? I can see West Ham resting a few players. I really can, because I think David Moyes, like I say, he knows he's safe. And with a European final in mind, you'll not want any injuries. You could see Borden rested. You could see Rice rested. I wouldn't be surprised. Now then,
I still think that West Ham will be too good for him, even if they do rest a few players.
Oh, I don't know, Roddy. Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say it's going to be a nervy affair.
It will be.
I think West Ham will take the lead. Leicester will equalise just on half time. And then the second half, Leicester will sit back for a while, then they'll go for it. And about the 80th minute, they'll snatch a winner. And it'll probably come from a James Maddison free kick or something. Or a Tielemans thunderbolt. And Leicester will go on and win this game 2-1. And then hopefully results on the other way. Let's go into some comments. I want Everton down. I hate them, says Hanging My Nose.
So do I.
Chris says 2-1 the Foxes. We'll go for it, absolutely. Jake says rest in peace. Yeah, absolutely. Sad news. Lee says rest in peace, Tina Turner. Wayne says very sad news, that Tony. My love to I liked her as well. Yeah, absolutely. She was an icon. R.I.P. Tina Turner, says Ian. Yeah, absolutely. Bia says Golden Eye was a great Bond tune. Absolutely. She'd done some fabulous music. Hanging my nummies. If Leicester defend like they did against us, West Ham won't be able to break them down like the Berlin Wall. Yeah, you're absolutely. I can see where you come from on that one.
They can't afford to do that. They've got to attack at some point. I think that's when West Ham will get. As I said, I think they'll take the lead.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is once West Ham equalise, which I think they will do, they'll fall apart, as they always do. I mean, you've seen us do it in the relegation seasons. We started brightly, got the lead. The moment we're pegged back, we fell apart. And I think that's what's going to happen. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, because I want Leicester to win, because I want the Skip Rats to go down. And that's the Leicester are our best chance of sending them down. Leeds possibly could, but it's a lot tighter goal difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Okay, before we get the next game, I've got 23 watch at the moment. If you do like what you see, then please smash that likes. It really does help the channel, because we've only got 15 likes at the moment. So if we can smash those likes, that'd be fantastic. And if you are new to the channel, then please hit that subscribe as well. Right, I'll go to some comments before we get into the next. Game. Coffee says Tina Turner was simply the best. I love how you put that, Coffee. That's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, she was good and mad. Max says Lee. Yeah. Tangi says Leicester 3, West Ham 0, Leeds 2, Spurs 1, Everton 1, Bournemouth 3. Leicester will state my opinion, says Tangi. Interesting. Andrew says, oh, no, not Tina. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, so sad. Jake says, he will get a goal and park the bus, Leicester. Gordon says, I think Everton will win against Bournemouth and stay up. Wayne says, I've heard Arsenal are interested in Madison. What do you lads think? Do you think he would sign for Arsenal? Do you know what? I don't know. It all depends. But the game, it's all rumours. We'll wait and find out, I suppose, in due course. But, whatever happens.
If we're both interested, he'll talk to both. And it's a case of who sells the club better. Because he knows he's playing Champions League with either. So does he want Arsenal's project?
Yeah.
And bottle it at the end of the season, or does he want ours?
Yeah. Wayne says, thumbs up, lads. Thank you very much indeed, Wayne. And Hanger Rainomi says, to see the Everton tears will be glorious. Yeah. Because they've now hired third-party security for Sunday because they may think there could be trouble ahead. Okay, so Roly, the next game, I'm coming to you first, Roly. And I'm giving you this game to kick-start this one off. Everton versus Bournemouth.
I'm going to take a leaf out of Andrew DB's predictions. 7-0 Bournemouth. This is going to be a tight, nervy affair. I think Everton are going to be really nervous. That crowd, though they give them a lot of support, it can be a weight on the shoulders. Again, we know from being in that position before, the crowd can really affect the game, both positively and negatively. You're up for this big game, the crowd are behind you, and it just takes one misplaced pass or a stupid foul to get the crowd on you, and it weighs down, and then you go behind, and then the crowd disappears. If Everton take the lead, I think they'll win the game. Unfortunately, if they go behind, I think it's a draw. I think Bournemouth are good enough to go there and win. They'll be playing with no pressure. And people say, they'll be on the beach. I don't believe any professional player goes to the beach before the season's end. No. They all want to win. I mean, especially a small club like Bournemouth. I don't know if a win would actually push them up the league. If it does, every place they go up is another couple £1 million they get from prize money. So they're going to want to do that. And Gary O'Neill's got them playing really well.
Yeah, Bournemouth could go up 2 places, depending on results. So if West Ham lose and Wolves lose, then Bournemouth could go above both of them. So yeah, they could go into 13th place from 15th. So
That's another £4 million, which is well worth having.
So what's your score, Roly?
It's a difficult one. If Bournemouth can go the first 20 minutes without conceding, because that's when Everton are at their most dangerous, I think they can at least get I think the minimum they'll get is a point out of it. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I really want Bournemouth to win. You don't know how much I want Bournemouth to win. I really want Bournemouth to win. Almost as much as I wanted us to qualify for the Champions League. That's how much I hate Everton.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I think a 1-1 draw, and I think Bournemouth take the lead, but I think Everton get an equaliser about 5-10 minutes from the end, and then really throw it forward, but just can't get the winner.
Yeah.
But I hope I'm wrong, because I really want Everton to go down.
Okie dokie. Right, before I get to Pete, Paul says it won't be long before we get linked with Jordi Alba. Seeing him leaving Barcelona in the summer. Interesting. Lee says Madison took a while getting out the ground on Monday. I probably haven't fought us with some of our players. Yeah. Hang in my Nomi says, let's go melt the toffees and make a smoothie with them, please. Bia says Everton will park the bus. Ian says 2-1 to Bournemouth. Chris says 1-1. Bournemouth win, says Lee. Bournemouth 1-0, says Julie. So Julie's going for it.
So.
Wayne says Bournemouth 3-1. I've got that gut feeling. Tanji's made a great point there. The last 4 meetings between Everton and Bournemouth have all been victories for Bournemouth. The last time they met was in November 22, and Bournemouth turned them over 3-0. Bournemouth to win 1-0, says Paul Stones. Coffee says 5-0 Bournemouth. And Jake says 5-0 to Everton. Remember, Everton are going to be without Calvert-Lewin on Sunday. So, that's going to be a huge blow to Everton's chances on Sunday, I think.
Pete, I forgot about that. But I still think they might just... they lose a focal point up front.
Yeah.
For when they just hoof it forward.
I'll have to play Morphy instead.
That will really frighten the Bournemouth defence.
Yeah. Everton Bournemouth, Pete. What's your thoughts on this game and your score prediction?
This is going to be a bit of a close game as well. See, Bournemouth will be Bournemouth will want to try and end the season with something. Everton are going to need the points as well to make sure they're safe. See, they're going to be without Calvert-Lewin, which is going to be a concern for them, definitely. I think this is going to be a 1-1 draw as well.
Yeah?
Yep.
You're going 1-1. Yeah, personally, I think it's going to be a weird game, but you see, I know they only lost 1-0 to Man United, Bournemouth, and that's testament to how well they played. And I know Gary O'Neill was disappointed the other week when they lost 3-1 to Chelsea, because he said his side had all the chances to score.
Yeah, they did. I saw that down.
I can see Bournemouth going there and upsetting Everton and upsetting that Gladys Street end as well. I think it's going to be a step too far for Everton. I really do. And I'm going to say Bournemouth will win this comfortably, 2-0. I think 2-0. I think Bournemouth will score in the first half, first 10 minutes of the game, maybe the first 20 minutes of the game, Bournemouth get a goal. That'll put Everton on the back foot, and Bournemouth will get a second. That Viña they've got on loan from Roma, he looks some player. I think he'll score, but yeah, I think Bournemouth will. I think because what will happen is, the fact is, Gary O'Neill will have said to his team, right, I want you to get out there on Sunday and I want to win. I want to sign off the season with a win. I do not want to get another defeat. And he'll be drilling that into his players this week in training and making sure. And he'll be saying, when the chance comes along, you take it and you make sure that goes in the back of the net. Because if we can get up there at Premier League, he might have said to his players, look, that's worth an extra few million for the club. And, let's sign off with a win and let's not worry about people getting relegated. Let's just concentrate on ourselves and let's go for it on Sunday. So I think Bournemouth will go out there. I think they'll do the job professionally. And I really do think Bournemouth win this game. I'll just go into some comments because the comments are flying in as well. Dallas Schwartz says, Everton 0, Bournemouth 2. That's a good shout. If you're new to the channel, mate, hit that subscribe. And Daniela says, Tangi, Leicester are not beating West Ham 3-0. In fact, they've just played into West Ham's hands by having to win. West Ham and on the best of counter-attacking sides on the day. They are, Daniela, do you not think you might rest a few players with the eye on the final?
I agree with you there, Daniela. That's why I said that you'd win comfortably 3-1 because Leicester got to come at you. They might take the lead. I think they'll have too much for them on the counter. And you do exactly what you did to Leeds.
Yes. Coffee says the Everton fans invade the pitch. Well, no, they've got a third-party security staff here, so I can't see it. Tangi says,
that's what the skip rats do.
Tangi says, let's remember a draw is no good to Everton, especially if Leicester win, absolutely, or even Leeds win. Tangi says Leicester will be playing the best West Ham team. Says Tangi. Daniela says Tangi. If Leicester win, Antonio will be playing. So there you go from Daniela. Yeah. So it is a difficult one, and but yeah, I'm going to see it 2-0 in this game. Right, we'll come to the next game. I'll come to you now, Pete, and this time we're off to Ellen Road. Leeds United versus Tottenham Hotspur in another must-win game for Leeds United against a woeful Spurs, let's be honest, who have now dropped out of the top 7 totally and are really, really looking like a team that are just really low on confidence, a club that looks on the downward spiral at the moment. 3 managers this season. It's not Ryan Mason's fault because it's not just him. It's because the players' heads are down because the ownership's getting a lot of targeting from the fans. There's big protests. I speak to Harry, who you know very well. I've had on this channel, Harry Scarf. He's one of the biggest ones for protesting. He says the fans have gone out and protested against Daniel Levy and Joe Lewis, asking them to sell the club because they're putting profit before the fans. That reminds me of somebody else who used to own the club, who used to put profit before the fans. So Pete, what do you reckon? Leeds United versus Tottenham.
Another close game. I mean, Spurs are poor, but I think Leeds are poor as well for me. The fact is, the way I thought particularly Spurs took the lead, and then he let Brentford back in, and what happened? Brentford put off the win. The same game between West Ham and Leeds. Leeds took the lead. What did they do? They let West Ham come in the game, and it was too easy as well.
Yeah. And West Ham should have won by more than 3-1.
They should have been, yes. So I can see a draw on this as well. And I'm going to say I'm going to say 2-2 in this run, which will not be enough for Leeds to stay up, and it'll not be enough for Tottenham to get into Europe.
Interesting. That. Yeah, I'm going to go to some comments now. I'll come back to Roly and get his thoughts on this game. Can't remember many good away victories for West Ham all season, says Tangi. I think he's winding Daniela up. Lee says, think Leeds could pull a shocker win. Do you know what it is? If they do and stay up, it's going to be unbearable thinking that bloody fat Sam's got the ball. He's going to be unbearable, isn't he? He's going to be the big I am.
Yeah.
Leeds 2-2 says Coffee. No good for them. 2-1 Leeds says Chris. Jake says, and we thought Tottenham would challenge us for the top 4. Exactly, they're now 8th position. Kane will
Well,
get two
Leeds gave
penalties.
us a better
Says,
game than Spurs did.
yeah, Coffee says 2 penalties for Kane. 2-2 says Wayne. Ian says 2-1 Leeds. Spurs are on a downward spiral, absolutely. 1-0 to Tottenham. Kane says Julie. Interesting. Daniela says, no, we won't rest many players as you think. This final is just 10 days from the end of the season and we'll be playing 2 games all season. So there'll be enough time to get the players rested and
Yeah,
fit.
I agree with you, Daniela.
Yeah. Dallas says Leeds 2, Tottenham 3. Harry Kane storms off midway in the second half, shredding his kit in disgust. Tanji says 12 points from 54 for West Ham on their own, 4th worst in the Premier League. They're having a good old banter there, Daniela and Tanji. So yeah, I mean, Roly, Leeds United versus Tottenham at Ellen Road. When we went to Ellen Road, they made that very hostile for us, and that atmosphere will be probably the same on Sunday, I would imagine. And this is going to be another game that's televised.
I think that Leeds are going to be up for this. They'll have that raucous crowd behind them. If this can go one of 2 ways, it'll be either Leeds get a quick start, get ahead early like they did against us, and press for more goals because they're going to need them, or they'll fall apart. I think it'll be the first one. I think they'll go for it. I think they'll get ahead early. I think that they score a few goals because this Tottenham defence is shocking. The only problem they've got is that Harry Kane will score. I reckon that they win 3-1. But with my prediction of Everton drawing, it means they'll still go down on goal difference. There'll be 1 goal short of level. There'll be 1 goal behind Everton. I think Everton stay up on goal difference. And really, they'll be really gutted with that. But if Leeds take the lead early, I can see him scoring 2 or 3 goals. But Kane will get 1. I don't know. I mean, if they can level with Everton on goal difference and Everton draw, they'll stay up on goals scored because I think Everton scored the least number of goals in the league.
Yeah.
But I think they won't get enough goals to. I think Everton draw, and they won't get enough goals to overhaul that goal difference. And because I don't think Leicester will get anything, Everton will survive on goal difference. Is my prediction. I really, really, really hope I'm wrong, but that's how I think it's going to go. I think Leeds. Yeah, I have Leeds to win 3-1, but that's not going to be enough for them.
Okay. Comments. Daniela has come back to Tangi. 4 versus Bournemouth, and we're not lost in Europe. A good banter going on between them two. Lee says Spurs the toilet lid ground. It does look like a toilet, doesn't it, from mid-air? And Daniela says 1-1 at Newcastle this season. Absolutely, Daniela. And you played well that day as well. Bia says, still waiting for on Everton's points deduction. I don't think it's happening this season, but we'll find out. Anyway, so this match, Leeds United Tottenham, yes, I think Leeds are going to make it hostile for Tottenham. It depends how many Spurs fans go to the match as well, because they might be in disgust and might not go. I think Leeds will win this game. I think they're for it. I think Alan Bates will have them well drilled to go out there and win this game. It was a difficult game for them at West Ham because I always said West Ham at the London Stadium would be too big of an ask for Leeds to go there and win the game, because since we beat West Ham 5-1, West Ham's gone on a tremendous run since then. It's like they've booked their ideas up. Maybe that was the wake-up call West Ham needed. So I always knew it would be tough for Leeds to go to the London Stadium and win that game. But they're on their home turf, Ellen Road, packed Ellen Road on the last day of the season. It's amazing what can happen on the end of the season. I can see Leeds win this game 3-1. And I think, all in all, if think let's just say if Bournemouth beat Everton, say 2-0,
That would be enough to keep Leeds up. Unless
that
Leicester
would be enough to keep Leeds up. Yes, it would be, because
Leicester win.
Yeah, because Leeds would be on minus 25 and
Well, there'd be a point
Everton would be minus 26.
If Everton lose and Leeds or Leicester win, they'll be a point above Everton. They'll be on 34 and Everton will be on 33.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting weekend, and yeah. Tanji says, I admire your hardcore West Ham mentality, proper fan. Absolutely. She's brilliant, Daniela. I like Daniela. She's absolutely fantastic.
What's going to be interesting?
She wants Leeds to smash the Spuds. How about this? Leeds win and the other two lose. Yeah. Do you know what? It's not beyond the realms of impossibility. It's not. I mean, I'm sick of seeing people saying, oh, well, Everton will beat Bournemouth. What is making people think they're going to go and beat Everton? Why are Everton going to go and beat Bournemouth?
But there again, we didn't think Everton would beat Brighton. But what's going to be interesting is when they do the tracker of who's where at the bottom as the game goes on. Because, say, in my prediction, Leicester take the lead. That takes them out of the bottom three. Then Leeds will take the lead. It's the bottom three. And then Everton come back late on to get the point. And obviously Leicester will drop back into the bottom. Well, in my prediction, Leicester will drop back into the bottom three, and then it'll go down to goal difference. And Leeds will realise they need to score more goals, and they'll be pushing and pushing. And just get enough.
Sanji says now she wants Spurs to be smashed. Proper West Ham fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Julie says my other half is a West Ham fan. There we go, Julie. So yeah, definitely. Right, okay. So we've gone from that game now. So I come back to you, Roly, and we're finished with the relegation theme now. And this next game is a dead rubber. It's between the Dodgers Arsenal and Wolverhampton Wanderers at the home of at the title Dodgers Arena. So anyway, Roly, give me your thoughts on this dead rubber, Arsenal versus Wolves, an end of season game which has got nothing riding on it.
I think it's going to be a pretty relaxed atmosphere at Dodgers Stadium. They should rename it. I think that Arsenal will be too strong for Wolves. But Wolves, they'll put on a show, but they won't do anything, Wolves. I think it's going to be a comfortable 2-0 win to Arsenal. They've got no pressure on them now. They know they've lost the league. They know that they've got Champions League, which at the end of the day is improvement from last season. Mm-hmm. But without the pressure, I think they put on a decent performance and they win 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I get to Pete, some comments in. Daniela says, Tanchi, thanks, have fun. I don't get this. The nothing in this for us. Well, about keeping the fans on the team side after a real crap season. Tanchi says, but I think Leicester will win and the Scouts Mackhams will be in a tears in a toxic environment.
Oh, I hope so. I really do hope so.
Ian says 3-1 Arsenal. 3-0 Arsenal, says Wayne. Jake says 2-0 to the best title Dodgers in Premier League history, says Jake. Mary, evening folks. Good evening to you, Mary. I hope you're very well indeed. And Lee says Arsenal to win this game. Pete, Arsenal versus Wolves.
Yes, it'll be an interesting one. I think Arsenal will win this as well. I think they'll want to win on the final game of the season. I think some players, it looks like maybe one player maybe saying their goodbyes to Arsenal, Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
So they might want to he might get a good send-off after the game as well.
I'm just going to go off screen a second, Tony.
Okay, no worries, mate.
And so, yeah, I think Arsenal are going to win this one. Spurs, Wolves have got nothing to play for, but neither have Arsenal because the title's over. But I think Arsenal will want to win the last home game and give Granit Xhaka a big send-off. So I'm going to see 2-0 Arsenal as well.
Yeah, I think this one, I think it'll be in. I think Arsenal want to sign off the season with a win. Yes, they haven't exactly set the world alight losing the title the way they did. They'll learn from it, like we had to learn from it. So I'm just going to say 2-0 Arsenal as well. I think that's the way this goes. Let's get into some more comments. Lee says Arsenal win. Julie saying hi to Mary. Ian says evening to Mary. Mary saying hi to Julie, my partner in crime. And asking Ian how he is as well. I'm going to say 2-0 as well. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And that's my thoughts anyway. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Oh, and Nobby's Nuts is in the chat.
What a name!
Nobby's Nuts. Nobby's Nuts. I absolutely love this channel. Excellent content. Thank you very much indeed, Nobby. Thank you. That's really kind of you to say that. I mean, guys, don't forget to hit that like button, please. It really is, and it helps the channel. So if you hit that like, and if you're new to the channel, then please smash that subscribe as well. Right, okay. So it's back to Roly now, isn't it?
Well, I did this.
Was it? Oh, no, it was you, Pete, next on it, because, yes, I was at Roly for Arsenal game, wasn't I? Right, Pete, you've got the one at Villa Park. Aston Villa versus Brighton. Again, it's the European contenders.
Yeah, absolutely. That all depends on Brighton's result, but I think Villa, both decent teams. Villa have been really good this season since Emery took over. Brighton have been fantastic as well, so wow. This is a tough one. Because both teams, Brighton looks like they've got Europe, but Aston Villa will want to do it to make sure Spurs miss out. I think because Villa are so good at home, that's why I think they're going to get something out of the game. I'm going to say 2 apiece in this game.
2 apiece. Yeah, I think you could be right, Pete. You know, I think you could. Before I come to Roly, Ian says very well, Mary. Looking for the Champions League. Julie says this will be a very good game. Villa Brighton, yeah, it will be. Villa 2, Brighton 1, says Chris. Ian says 3-2 to Brighton, as well. Dallas says 2-1 Villa. Julie says I'm going Brighton 4-2. I hate Villa. Yeah, exactly. It might be a Villa thriller. And Kelly says Villa versus Brighton will be a draw. Roly, your thoughts on Aston Villa versus Brighton at Villa Park?
That's a tough one, this, because they're two very, very good sides. I think the only difference is that Villa at home, I think that might be the telling factor. It's going to be a really tight game. I fancy Villa to win this, just edge it. So I think they'll win 2-1.
2-1. Yeah. I mean, I can see I can see this being it's a dead rubber. And like Pete mentioned, if Brighton get a draw tonight, that means that means that obviously Europa League's confirmed for Brighton, which means Villa can only go for Conference League. So yeah, I think it's going to be a dead rubber, and I think a draw. I'm going to go 1-1. 1-1. Yeah. So yeah, I think so as well. Okay. Just getting to some comments here. Ian says 2-2. Tanji says Villa 3, Brighton 2. I just think Villa will be fresher out the two teams. You could be right. Mag Debate says, have you heard the Geordie Lee call that on the Talk Sport? It's very, very funny. Yes, I've heard it. Absolutely fantastic. Has anyone seen Jason Cundy? Yes. Well,
yes,
it is absolutely brilliant. It is. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I don't know if you've heard it, Pete.
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, you'll have to check it out. I'll have to send you the link. It's really funny though, but it's absolutely brilliant. It's tops. You'll have to you'll have to listen.
That's the one where his missus says they should ban him from Talk Sport.
Yes. Bia says Fiorentina are beating Inter. They're going to walk all over West Ham United. Julie says the Cundy call, he got what he deserved. Yeah, absolutely, Julie, absolutely. Mary says for the Villa game, which side do you think will get booked first? That's a good question, Mary. Do you know what I'm going to say, Villa?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Tyrone Mings. Max says, aye, has anyone seen Cundy, lol? That was hilarious, says Julie. It was, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. I'm going to send it to Pete the link later on, and you'll love it. Daniela says, Villa Brighton, I think, is a big game for Europe or Conference Leagues unless Brighton beats City tonight. You only need a point tonight, Daniela, so if they get a point, then yeah, it's a dead rubber on Saturday, on Sunday. But then if Brighton do lose tonight, then it's a different game on Sunday. It becomes a game between two sides. Okay, so the next game, Roly, this one is at the G-Tech Community Stadium, and it's Brentford versus Manchester City.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Brighton could still qualify for Europe. Brentford, sorry.
We've got an outside
Brentford.
We've got an outside chance. It all depends on what happens. If Villa lose and they win, they can get through, but I don't think they're going to win.
No.
Manchester City will be too good for them. I think Manchester City win 2-0. I know they're very difficult to beat at the community stadium, but this Manchester City team, I don't think, even with Ivan Toney, that Brentford have enough to actually sort it. I'll go 2-0 Man City.
Yeah.
Though Man City at the moment are having a lot of trouble with Brighton.
Who, Man City are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Man United did as well, so yeah. Before I come to Pete, Daniela also says European Conference League could be a cup that English clubs own if it goes for everyone. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It could do, yeah, definitely. Tanji says, I can't wait for the fixtures to be released on Thursday, the 15th of June at 9 a.m. Who does everyone to play first game of the season? Anybody.
Give us anybody, yes.
Give us a home game against anybody.
City 3-0, says Wayne. 6-0 City, Holland, all six, says Julie. Daniela says, BF Aiken, Fiorentina beating Inter has nothing to do with the final. It's a different game. A final's a one-off game. Ian says 3-0 City will celebrate and still win the title. Yeah, absolutely. Julie says Fiorentina, not the team they were in the 90s when they had Gabriel Batistuta playing for them. Absolutely.
What a striker he was.
Yeah, what a striker he was. Okay, Pete. Brentford, City.
Oh, yes. I think City will make changes, depends. But I think they'll still be too good for Brentford.
Yeah.
I think this will be a close game, but I think Brentford will give him a shot because I think Brentford have had an incredible season. They've had a really great. Just shows they can win a game without Ivan Toney being in the team as well.
Yeah,
it's really, really good. That Mbuemo.
Spurs.
Yeah, I mean that Mbueno's a cracking player. Like,
yeah,
the way he took his 2 goals was good. But I'm just saying Man City because again, it's hard for anyone to catch them. So I'm going to say 2-1 City.
2-1 City. That's fair enough. Let's get in the chat before I give my thing. Jake says Luton Town away. But they've got to play Coventry on Saturday first, Jake, so we'll find out on Saturday. Tanji says, I hope we beat Chelsea first game of the season so their troubles continue. Yeah, especially at home. Mary says, does anyone want to give a VAR a 2-foot challenge? The problem with VAR is, Mary, it's not the system, it's the people who are operating it. But when we saw Howard Webb come out and explain things and that we hear different conversations going on, you do kind of understand things a bit better. But we need more clarity on it. And I think going forward next season, we'll get more clarity from Howard Webb. So I think the VAR system does work. It's just the people running it. But I think once he makes a few tweaks, you never know, things might run better. So yeah. That's off, Mary. Julie says,
I hope
VAR
they
could
do.
be good if used properly. Yeah,
I hope they do more of these where they, in the controversial decisions, just have the conversation between the VAR and the referee, because at least it puts, because when you get these decisions, at the moment you're just thinking, why the hell didn't they give that, or why the hell did they give that? At least you'll understand their thinking behind it. It may be wrong,
yeah,
but at least you can understand the thought process, so you can sort of understand why they do it. And things like the offsides, where a lot of it's subjective, and at least you can hear the conversation and what they're saying. It's like the penalty for in the Arsenal game, which we didn't get, which was overturned by VAR. At least you could see them explaining, well, we think it's hit his thigh. We believe it's hit his thigh before it's hit his arm. His arm's moving away from the ball. It's a natural position. We think you should have another look at it. You can see the actual thought process. I mean, it's a bit like, let's say, I'll go to the cricket. When they're doing an LBW, they'll go through whether it's hit the bat before the pad, and they say, can you run it through to me? Well, we can see that there's no bat involved, so they go to the next stage. Or we think there's been a bat. We can't tell whether the bat's hit the ball, so they go to the ultra edge, which is the sound, which will record the sounds, and they can see the peaks on the screen where the sound is. A little bit more definitive, but they talk through on the TV. You can hear what they're looking at and what they're trying to do to determine it. And even on some of the other decisions, they talk you through it so you can see that they're not allowed to do it in real time because of FIFA rules. But if they had, I believe in the US that Howard had a
TV show
where they go through all the controversial decisions. I think it'd be excellent if they did that, because I think people would understand more why they came to those decisions, wrong or right. Yeah. And I think people would have more confidence in refs, because at least they can understand the thinking. Because sometimes there may be something that we didn't think of that they've brought in, and it may be an interpretation of the rules that we don't consider. So I think it'd be a really good thing if they do it regularly.
Yeah, definitely. Daniela says, Biarritz and Fiorentina are beating Inter, but it's the Italian Cup, absolutely. Chris says there's going to be a big rotation as expected, but 2-1 City. Bia says Fiorentina have been decent all year. They will lift the cup with relative ease. Inter have been killing it all year. Ian says, I want the Macums first game of the season. Sorry, forget they didn't get promotion. Mary says, Julie, that's true. Includes a professional ref who does the job well. Absolutely, Mary. Definitely. Luton Town on that plastic pitch, lol. Used to have a plastic pitch, Mag. They don't anymore, so the QPR. Julie says, they need to be like Pierluigi Collina, the most amazing ref ever. Absolutely. Max says, Luton, QPR and Oldham had awful plastic pitches. Yes, they were horrible. Not like what they're on now. And Bia says, yes, Fiorentina are in the Tin Cup because they compete in all competitions, says Bia. And he also goes on to say, Tony said it's a cup final. That's a different game. Fiorentina Inter is a cup final tonight. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Bia, but I'm talking about a European cup final. It's totally different, isn't it, from a domestic cup final, because, you know, you're playing a team that's got two teams are playing each other with different styles of play, so it's going to be an interesting, and from two different leagues as well. So that's going to be the interesting part. Did we get your prediction, Pete, for Brentford Man City? We did, didn't we?
Yeah, I went 2-1.
Yeah.
City.
Yeah, okay. And I'm going to go 2-0 City for that one as well. Right, next game, because we're going to have to start rattling through these games. Right, so I believe it's Pete now, isn't it? Or is it Roly?
I think it's Pete.
Oh, it's Pete, yes, because I came to Roly first with the Brentford City game. And, I mean, the Premier League, like I say, always throws up surprises and things like that. Obviously, the relegation zone on Saturday and Sunday, that's going to be a hell of a fight. But the next game for Pete, it's Stamford Bridge. And it's Chelsea. Chelsea versus Newcastle United. And we're going to Stamford Bridge with this tune in the background. And I'm sure the players will be listening to it in their ears as well. It's music to my ears, that is. So, Pete, Chelsea versus Newcastle United. Thoughts and score prediction, please.
I really hope we can end the last game of the season on a high as well. I mean, what a season we've had. Do you know what? I don't mind rotating this side now because we've got top 4 secured. And I think Eddie Howe is going to do that. Pope's definitely out because he's done his hand. So we know Dubravka's probably going to come in for that. I think the likes of ASM will come in, possibly Gordon, maybe as well. Possibly Target, I would say, coming in as well. Oh.
Pope's not playing either.
No.
He said that, yeah.
But I still believe we can get the job done at Chelsea. Chelsea are just abysmal. They're just absolutely abysmal. I think a lot of the Chelsea fans just want the season finished now.
Yeah.
You can really, really tell they are now. So, I'm going to take a 2-1 win to us.
2-1 win?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, before I come to Rory, I'll just go into the chat, see what people are saying. Joe Linton's in the chat. He says, I predict we finished top 4 before the season started. Looks like I got it right. You should have put a bet on it, Joe Linton. You should have put a bet on it. Dallas says, Man City at the Shaddy Shed in the opener. They will blast Chelsea 7-0 and Punch quits during the post-match interview. That would be funny. Jake says, is the game on TV, guys? No, I don't think it is. I don't think it's televised because they'll only be showing the relegation one. And if Man U somehow get beat tomorrow night, then I should imagine that game and the Liverpool game will be live because one of those teams could qualify for Champions League still. Julie says 3-0 would be lovely. Lee says a 4-1 win for us against Chelsea, absolutely. Julie says, and Karius pulls off a worldy save. Stuff in Chelsea 4-0, says Mary, absolutely Mary. Jay Jones says, Chelsea 3, Newcastle 1. I think a mix of us relaxing and Chelsea wanting to prove a point. I'm not so sure about that one. Ian says 4-0 the Toon. Wilson hat-trick and Ashby with the 4th. That would be great. Wayne says 4-0 all day. Wilson hat-trick and then Botman. Well, we'll win 2-0, says Joe Linton. There we go. Confidence there.
Oh, well, yeah, Man City are in the front.
Yeah,
Gary
but
D.
Brighton hit the cross.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Gary D. Hope you're well, mate. Joe Linton says it would be hilarious if London Chester United missed out on the Champions League. It would be funny.
It would be funny. It would be funny if Liverpool did as well. The amount of times they've whinged all the season.
Yeah.
Particularly Mr. Teef.
Mammoth tusks. So, Roly, Chelsea versus Newcastle United at the Bridge.
What I'd like to see is this game to be a 1-0 Champions League Newcastle United win. But the way I'd like to see it is I'd like us to get a penalty for shirt pulling and have it to get sent off. and we win 1-0, because that's what should have happened last season when we went down there.
Yeah.
But seriously, we've got the job done, so I don't really care what the result is. Obviously, I'd prefer to finish 3rd and 4th, but it's not essential. The only benefit of finishing 3rd is that we get an extra 2 million towards financial fair play.
Yeah.
I say Chelsea are a basket case at the moment. As I said before, they're a bunch of individuals that have been thrown together. They're not a team. They have some very good players, but they can't play together. I mean, Mudryk is looking as bad as Joe Linton did when he first came to us. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I'm not sure we win there, because they're going to want to try and prove a point. We defended really well on Thursday, and I think that not Thursday, Monday. I think that we do the same.
Yeah,
Stamford Bridge. I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up 0-0. Again, it all depends on whether he rests. And I mean, Pete's rotations will be quite interesting, whether he'll do that. But Eddie wants to win. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
I'll go for a 1-0 win to the Champions League team.
Okie doke. Jay Jones says, think Chelsea get a result tomorrow as well. Julie says, Foden scored. Yeah. Tanji says, 4-0, Dan Burn elbows Havertz in the head because he's from Blyth. Great for my fantasy Premier League, says Julie. Oh, yes, of course. Dan Burn versus Havertz, round 2, says Julie. Yeah, absolutely. Jake says, Chelsea will want the season over and done with. Joe Linton says, I want to win the record. 1-0 to Celtic, says Ian Fleming. Well done, Celtic. I can't see them losing to Hibs, in all honesty. Daniela says, a final in Prague with 2 West Ham players are from, I think we played the last season. Krasinski has put money in and is to West Ham and is from
City's
1-0 up. And record most points if we win, says Joe Linton. Okay, so I think we'll go to Chelsea. We'll want revenge for last season after the Havertz when he elbowed Dan Burn and stayed on the pitch. Shalabar tried to take Jacob Murphy's shirt off him because he wanted his shirt that much. I think we'll go there and get a win. I think once we see the result tomorrow night, if Man U don't win tomorrow night, I think Eddie will make sure that we go out there and beat Chelsea so we can finish 3rd, because that's what he'll want. And with Eddie being competitive as he is, Lampard's last game for Chelsea, I think we'll go out there and win a 3-0. And I wouldn't be surprised if Carrier starts over Dubravka.
I don't think so.
Because it'll be Karius's last game, because he'd be going off to Italy in the summer by the looks of things. So,
Karius will be on the bench. I know you don't like
or you could play Dubravka, and depending on the game's going, if we're 2 or 3-0 up at half time, he may say, do you know what, I'll give Karius the other 45 minutes. Who knows? But, well, all in all, I think we'll win the game comfortably. And, Brighton have scored, by the way. It's 1-1 Matoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matoma's just scored.
The City players are complaining it's handball, but it looked a bit like the goal that Miggy scored against City, but it was higher up his body.
Yeah. Gary says Finishing third, I think that's the first time we would finish above Man U's for a long time, yeah. Gary, it would be, yeah. Tanji says, Matoma 1-1, but being checked though. Goal break that's been given. Handball. Oh no, it's disallowed.
Oh,
well, they've ruled it off, but they'll probably check VAR to make sure.
yeah. What's happened is that Matoma's fallen on the ball before it's gone over the line. It's hit his arm. It came off his chest originally.
Yeah, Mary says, I think Burns should be the one that does the nothing and doesn't get sent off. Yeah, absolutely. Daniela says, you should be able to get something at Chelsea. Right. Yeah, definitely, Daniela. Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, right. We've got 3 games left, so we're going to have to rattle through these games. Man United, Fulham. It's you now, Roly, isn't it? So, yeah. Roly, Man U, Fulham.
I'm going for Andrew DB's favourite score, 7-0 Fulham. This will be a hard game for Man United because Fulham are going to want a revenge for the FA Cup game, FA Cup quarter-final.
Yeah.
They were in total control until a moment of madness. And then they ended up with 9 men. Fulham have been playing really well at the moment as well. It's going to be an interesting game. Man United at home, playing for third place. I can see Fulham getting something out of this. Yeah. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
1-1. Okay. Before I get to Pete. 2-0 Man U, says Ian. G. Jones, Man U 1, Fulham 3. Easiest game to predict. Julie says Man U are 1, Fulham 3. Mitro hat-trick. Man U versus Fulham, a win. A win for Fulham, I think he means. Well, he does. And Wayne says 2-1 Fulham, Mitrovic, both goals. Julie says, me little Serbian Geordie. Okay, Pete. Man U, Fulham.
I think Fulham are going to want revenge as well after what happened in the Cup. I think Fulham are going to get something out this game. I really do. As long as they keep the cool this time, I think they will. And I'm going to say 1-1 as well.
1-1 as well. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Lee says, Fulham win. Tanji says 3-1 Fulham, Mitrovic hat-trick. Waves a black and white scarf in celebration, punches Goofy Fernandez and gets sent off. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Fulham win, says Lee as well. Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough game for Man United. I'm siding with you, Pete, that they'll want revenge. I think Fulham edges 2-1. I think they will. I think Fulham will edge it. I really do. Daniela says, if everyone see West Ham will have their heads in the final, then why not Man U, who have City following Sunday in the FA Cup? Absolutely. No, Mary says, Julie, am I wrong for wanting extra points if the Fulham side get to knock Man U players over and the ref says play on? Yeah, absolutely. Daniela says, we've said that one. And you're not wrong, Mary says. Julie, yeah, absolutely. I mean, stranger things have happened. Right, okay. So, next game. Palace versus Forest, Pete.
Ooh,
a dead rubber.
Yeah, it is. Forest are safe. Palace are safe as well. Will this be Roy Hodgson's last game? We'll see. I think Palace are going to be... I think this is going to be a win for Palace for me. I think Palace are really good at home. That Roy's telling them to go and play with freedom, and that's why they've been pulling results off. And I've got to say, well done to Eze for getting calling for England. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, it's a good player, him.
He's deserved his chance. He's been excellent. I'm going to say Palace are going to win this 2-1.
2-1. Yeah, and Rory, what's your thoughts and scoreline for this one?
Forest have been hopeless away from home all season. It's their home form that has really got them out of trouble. And so Palace have been a revelation since Hodgson came in, scoring goals freely. I think they win this game quite comfortably, but Forest won't care because they're in the Premier League next season. I think Palace win this 3-1.
Yeah. My thoughts are it'll be a hard game for Forest. But the way Forest have played in a few weeks, I wouldn't rule out a draw, so I'm going to say 2-2. Julie says, especially a kick in the ferret face as Fernandez goalies. Ian says 2-2. Mary says, Julie, that'll be an extra 500 points. Julie says, this is a sleepy game, this one. Palace 0, Forest 0. Yeah, interesting. Palace win, says Lee. Yes, hands pink waving. Daniela says, if anyone's dressing players this weekend, it's Man United. Yeah, probably. Forest, because I hate Palace with a passion, have a soft spot for Forest, says Wayne. Yeah, definitely Wayne. Okay, right. Back to you, Pete. Southampton, Liverpool at St Mary's. Relegated Southampton against... Could it be a Champions League decider on Sunday for Liverpool? Or maybe a step too far by then, or maybe over by then. But anyway, Pete, what do you think on this one?
Is it not back to Roly because I did Palace?
Yes, sorry, it did, Pete. Sorry, my mistake. Roly.
This is a dead rubber because Liverpool will be able to qualify for the Champions League after the game tomorrow. So it's a dead rubber. Southampton have been woeful this season.
Yeah.
I can see Liverpool beating them quite comfortably. I'd say 4-0.
4-0.
Send them down with a spanking. But the great thing about it is whine and moan, score as many goals as they like. Oh, what a goal!
Have a look at this.
Espinosa.
Oh, Ed Cecil, what a banger! Like
that was a yeah.
Ed Cecil's just scored an absolute peach of a goal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes,
what a goal!
30 yards out, he absolutely hammered it in. Back to Liverpool, Southampton. I think that Liverpool could rest most of their players and start the likes of Nunes, and they still put 4 past them, even with Nunes on the field.
Yeah.
I think that they'll have too much for Southampton. So Southampton, I mean, now that they're down, they're still getting beat easily, but they've been going down for months. You can see it's happening, and oh God, that's a peach of a goal. It's about 25 yards out into the top right-hand corner. Keeper's got no chance. He could have set off.
You're saying 4-0, Rolly, are you?
4-0 Liverpool.
Yeah. Okay.
And they still can't catch us.
Julie says they will want Daniela. They'll try and overtake Newcastle. They'll try. Tanji saying and Ciso with a cracker. Anyone else see Lee Gunnar saying we shouldn't celebrate qualifying for the Champions League? Well, I'm sorry. I don't care what he thinks. We'll celebrate as much as we bloody well want. We've had 14 years of complete shit under a former owner where we had 1 European campaign, 2 relegations, and trying to sit at the 17th place year in, year out. So I'm sorry. If we've got a Champions League, we've got every right to celebrate it. Lee Gunnar, yes, you're a very respected guy. Well, keep your mouth shut. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Have you won the title this season? No. Did you bottle it? Yes. So there we are. Answer said, Lee Gunnar. And I'm not having a go at you, by the way. Joe Linton says, people whining because we started our dodgy sponsorship. I have 2 words for them. Who cares? Absolutely. Liverpool 3-0.
What's he talking about? Dodgy sponsorship.
It's what people are saying. Liverpool wins, says Lee. Not bothered about the media, as I've said to John Sinclair. I've stopped reading it now. Absolutely, Julie. I'm going to say Liverpool as much as I don't want to, but Southampton are finished 3-0 Liverpool, says Wayne. Liverpool will smash the Saints. Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
if they do get a goal back, I think it'll be a signing off from Ward-Prowse with a 30-yard free kick. Pete, what's your thoughts on this game?
One winner, Liverpool, easy. I mean, that'll happen. They're down. They're prepared championship football for next season now.
Yeah.
I can't see anything but a very comfortable Liverpool win.
Nor can I.
I'm going to say 3-0 Liverpool.
Yeah. I'm going to say 4-1. Because I do think they'll get a free kick and Ward-Prowse will put it in the back of the net. But by then, Liverpool have been 4-0 up. So I'm going to say 4-1 Liverpool. Right. So that is the last of the games. Now I've got a curveball to throw in, which I said at the beginning of the show. And this is just for a bit of fun for the end of the show, so people can have their say on this and predict this one. So Saturday evening at a 4:45 kickoff, we have Luton Town versus Coventry City at Wembley Stadium, in front of a 90,000 sellout. You know, the winner, it's the £100 million game, £120 million game. Right, I'll start with you, Pete. Luton Town, Coventry. Your thoughts? 1, are you watching it as well? And 2, who's winning it?
Oh, yes, I'll both say watch it. Wow. I think this may be the season we'll see Luton in the Premier League next season. I really believe this is maybe the season we'll see Luton come into the Premier League this season. It's a new team as well. And I really think they're going to do it.
Yeah. So you're going for Luton win, are you, Pete?
Yes.
And what's your scoreline?
I'm going to say 2-0 Luton.
Okay. Right. The match officials for this game on Saturday night as well. The referee for the final is Michael Oliver. He will be assisted by Stuart Burt and Lee Betts. The fourth official is Graham Scott. The reserve assistant referee is Mark Scholes. VAR, because VAR is an operation in these matches, is Andre Mariner. And the assistant VAR is Richard West. So Michael Oliver is the referee in this game. I think that's probably the best referee you can have in this game. You always have a Premier League referee in this game. And I think that's fantastic. Before I get to Roly, I'm just going to get into some comments here.
Oh, yes, it could be.
It is.
They've disallowed.
Linesman's put the flag up. We'll have to check it. But
Craig says, Lee Gunner is a bitter entitled, poor him, entitled fan, absolutely. Julie says, the salt amongst these people is immense, absolutely, Julie. Facebook user, I don't know who your name is, you have to click the settings, mate, but Luton you saying, okay, that's fair enough. Joe Litton says, I want Luton to come up. I think it's because people want to see people's watching on the lines. Daniela says, Man U have Champions League, but their bigger game is trying to stop City winning the treble. They don't want that, absolutely, yeah, you're right there. 1-0 to Luton, says Julie. Ashton says, what a goal off Brighton and Ciso. It's got to be Coventry for me, Willard, says Wayne. Okay, interesting. 2-1 to Brighton. Danny Welbeck. As a child, I was young. I used to be a Luton Town supporter, says Mary. Well, there we go then. So Mary is rooting for Luton. Coventry, please, all day, says Daniela. Welbeck, disallowed, says Julie. Yes, we've heard that. Luton 3-1. Well played this season and deserves promotion. Yeah, absolutely. Lee says 3-1 to Luton. As long as Scholes isn't refereeing, you know, when he was eating his toenails. Oh! Julie says PGMOL should issue all respectable vouchers for eye tests. It's a 2-1. No. Made me laugh. Liverpool complaint that Professional Game Match Officials Limited. Evening, says Mason. Skid mark draws on the washing line, says Lee. Well, yeah, you could do it. Depends if they're white as well. If they're white fronts, yeah, they do show up.
Oh.
But yeah, Mason's in the chat as well. Mason, what's your thoughts on this game as well? Get your prediction in. So what scoreline did you go for, Pete? Sorry?
2-0 Luton.
2-0. Ashton says Brighton are actually good. Buonetti doesn't look as a bad player. Peter Howard's a watch along, says Mason.
Oh, for the Gator game, yeah, went well, I thought.
Yeah. Right, Roly, your thoughts? Luton Town versus Coventry, Wembley Stadium.
I mean, I've not seen... The only games I've seen of the two sides were the playoff semi-final second legs. Luton play with a lot of energy. They look good in set pieces. They should have scored more against the Mackens, but didn't. But then, watching the Borough-Coventry game, Coventry were really strong at the back. And I think they got the better technical players, and the guy they got up front is a class championship striker. I think like most playoff finals, I think it's going to be a tight, close game. But I'm picking Coventry to win 1-0.
Coventry. Oh, okay. Before I get to my thoughts on this game as well, let's see what everybody's saying. Going to get picked apart in the summer, Brighton. Yeah, they are. I mean, people are going to be wanting their players left, right and centre. Gary says rooting for Luton has a bit of a ring to it, Tony. Rooting for Luton, yeah, it has, hasn't it? Yeah. Mason thinks Coventry may get it. Ashton says Coventry to win. Mason says Tony already knows, but it's Ramsdale was in the Halifax Town End. Yes, he was, wasn't he, Mason? I can't pick a winner. Luton Coventry could go to pen, says Tangi. Could well do. I think Luton will win this, but I think they'll win it in extra time. I think it'll be 1-1, and I think Luton will win it in 2-1 in extra time. And I think if Luton do win it in a way, they deserve it because they finished third. They're the third best team in the championship. I know people say it's not right, these playoffs, but I think they bring a lot of excitement. I mean, look at the Salford game with Stockport. Salford were 1-0 up. Stockport were winning 1-0 on Monday, so they were 1-1. Then Salford scored and made it 2-1 on aggregate. Then Stockport scored a second and then won on penalties, and we've seen Carlisle get through. They're playing Stockport on Sunday. So that's going to be a great game as well. And hopefully Carlisle get up to League One. That'll be great for them. So yeah, it's a great one. Daniela says, I want Coventry in the Premier League so we can remind the Spuds of what the FA Cup final defeat. Yes, the 3-2, the Keith Ouch and Darren Edder. Did Ashley buy Coventry's ground? Yes, he did, Mag, yes. And I can imagine if they go there, he's going to get some stick off our fans, isn't he? I mean, I'm surprised he just hasn't renamed it yet, but he may do. He may rename it the Sports Direct Arena, who knows? Ashton says, I don't like playoffs. I saw someone saying they have them for the Champions League. Would be furious to work all season for a spot to get stolen from a few games. I mean, well, yeah, but at the end of the day, if you haven't played well enough to win automatic promotion, I think it's a fair thing anyway. And I think it's nice because the teams get to go to Wembley as well. And it gives them something, and if you win it, you get a trophy as well. So
it keeps the end of the championship season interesting because that league's always so tight. Going into the last game, there are about half a dozen teams that can still qualify. Yeah. So you've got very few dead rubber games. I mean, it's a bit like the Champions League and European places in the Premier League. You still keep most of the league with something to play for as you go into the last couple of games of the season.
It's great to see Paul Simpson doing very well at Carlisle. Feel sorry for him being assistant for us under Wally with a brolly. Yeah, absolutely, Mason. Well done to Paul Simpson. And right, guys. So we've been going now in 49 minutes. It's been a marathon show tonight and a bit longer than usual. But because we've had more games put in, and then I threw that game in at the end. I thought, you know, I kept everybody on their toes what I was going to do at the end, and I just thought I have to throw that game in because it's a game of interest to see who we get in the Premier League with us next season. So, as I always do, Daniela says it's now Fiorentina and Milan 1, Inter Milan 2 at half time. Wow, okay, interesting. Right, okay, so as I always say at the end of the show, right, Roly, would you like to let people know where they can find you?
I'm on Twitter at Paul67.
Lovely, thank you very much indeed, Roly. And Pete, would you like to let people know where you are, and more importantly, what have you got coming up?
Yeah, so you can find me on my channel right there, Payday Proudlog. I will be back most likely be tomorrow for the preview for the Chelsea game. Friday will be my crazy Paydays football live show. And Sunday will be the watch along for the Chelsea game. And most likely the match review and the player ratings on the same day as well. So feel free to tune in, check out my channel, Payday Proudlog, and subscribe if you will. Feel free to do so. Follow me on my social media, Payday Proudlog as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Lovely, thank you very much indeed, Pete. And yeah, guys, you know where my channel is. But you can follow me down there on Twitter, TonyTony31. Give me a follow and I'll follow you back. Same handle on Twitch. Also on Facebook. It's all Black and White TV. So if you want to join the group, just click the join group and then I will let you in as well. Just go through some comments before we wrap up. Wayne says the championship is tight, but not for us. We made it look piss easy. Yeah, we did. Daniela says it's now Fiorentina 1, Inter Milan 2 at half time. Thank you very much, Daniela. R.I.P. Tina Turner says Tangi. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So sad, so sad. Lee says, been a great show tonight, Tony, Pete and Roly. Big thumbs up. Thank you very much indeed, Lee.
Thank you, Lee.
Ian says, great show, guys, as usual. Thank you very much indeed, Ian. Yes, it's certainly been a great show. Peter, I'll tell you about Wembley on Friday, says Mason. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it, Mason? I mean, shame Gateshead just couldn't get over the line.
Oh, I thought Gateshead were just very lackluster.
They were terrible, weren't they, really? They just didn't seem to want that, did they? R.I.P. Tina Turner says Daniela. Great show as usual, says Julie. Thank you very much indeed, Julie. Yeah, I am going to bring the show back next season as well. I know we did it late on, but I wasn't sure if it was a show that worked, but it's a show that everybody likes, so I'm going to bring it back next season. And it'll be us three as well. Julie J says, good night all. Good night to you, Julie. Tangi says, legend she was, just for putting up with Ike Turner. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're absolutely spot on there, Tangi. So, guys, if you have liked what you see, if you haven't yet smashed that like, then please do so on the way out. That would be absolutely fantastic. Really does help the channel with search results. Also, if you are brand new to the channel, then please smash the subscribe and come and join this wonderful community here. And that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. So we've got a final few comments in the chat. Tangi, Tina Turner, and Bowie the Famous Whisper. Yeah. Night all says Julie, good night, Julie. Have a good evening. Ashton, see you all later. See you later, Ashton. Have a good evening too, mate, as well. Yeah. But yeah, just remember, guys, you know, next season we've got this to come to St James's Park. Absolutely fantastic, you know. And as I always say, remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white. And it's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
How are you, the lads?